Hello there. Now that you have installed Jupyter Notebook, we are going to do two things together. We will create a new Jupyter Notebook and we will explore a very important machine learning Python library called Panda. Here is your Jupyter Notebook. Go to New and click on Python 3. This is how Jupyter Notebook looks. This is called cell. You can add as many cells as you want. You can delete if you don't want it. And first thing we will do is we are going to write what is this all about. Let's say we say learning Panda and go to cell type and make it markdown. Markdown is like comments and it will be useful when you print the complete notebook or when someone else is looking at this notebook. So markdown over here, you can say heading, you'll get this message, that's fine. And now we're going to import Pandas library. Import Pandas as PD, and at the same time we are going to import a very important library numpy as np. If you are new to Python, just understand these are very important libraries you are going to use in machine learning. So Pandas in particular is what you are going to explore in this lecture. You are going to spend some time in this lecture to understand what is Pandas library, what all you can do using this library. You imported the important libraries. Next, let's write a small code. We're going to create a Pandas data frame, that is like creating a table in machine learning as an input, right? Data frame, data equals, it is going to be np array and now we're going to create the arrays. For example, let's say this is a very simple array of numbers 4 5 6 and then 7 8 9 and make sure you start here and close this here, and next declare the data type is going to be integer. So far so good. We're missing a bracket here, and then we have to list the columns. Columns are going to be just simple, keep it simple for now, A, B, C. Let's print this. Very simple code, and you are ready to run. You can run it now. Click on this. It will ask you, are you sure you want to restart the kernel? Because over here you see there are no numbers because the notebook kernel has not started. So click on this and it will start that, and here you got the numbers right here. Over here you got 1 and 2. Now this become part of the kernel. This is part of the notebook. Now notebook understands that first it has to run this command and this command, and this is our data frame. This is exactly what we gave in this here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and columns A B C, and this over here is called index. We will play around with this later, but for now understand we just created a data frame out of an array of numbers. Now let's create another data frame, and this is going to be a bit different from what it is now. So enter a new cell. Over here if you go, you get more options. Say insert cell above or insert cell below, right? So I'm going to insert cell below, and then here let's say df2 equals pd data frame, and right here also data equal to np dot array. This is also going to be array. This one, let's say, first let me not forget the syntax. Okay, and this one, let's say, is going to be 10 11 12, then 13 14 15 16 17 18, and let's add one more row, 19 20 21. Very good. And here, so this is end. This time we're going to do one more important thing. We are going to name our indexes. Index equals, there are 1 2 3 4 rows. We need 4 indexes, p q r s t, and like before we need to name our columns. Columns equals, keep the column name same, a b and c. Looks good. And let's print df2. Run it now. Restart this. Oh yes, we got more than required indexes. There are 1 2 3 4 rows, so p q r s 4. Okay, now run this, and here we go. We got the new data frame, and in this data frame the indexes are as we named it, p q r s. It is not numeric numbers, it is based on what we named it. By the way, before we move on, let's follow some good coding standard and insert some markdown, some comments which will be useful later. Let's say insert cell above, and here we're going to say creating data frames. This one we have to go to cell and say it's markdown. See, for the markdown cells there are no numbers, only the codes. The cell with code have the numbers because they have to follow certain execution sequence. Good job. We got 2 data frames created, 2 data sets, df and df2. Let's play around, and the next command is df columns. If you just run this command, you will see all the columns like A, B, C and data type. Data type of all these columns is object. Whether it is df columns or df2 columns, it will be object. And how about index? If you say df.index, let's see, it says range index 0 to 3 and steps 1. So this is just a numerical index auto created. It starts 0 and it increments by 1. How about if I go df2.index? Over here it has index names p, q, r, s, and of course data type is object. The real fun begins now when we are going to slice and dice this data set using Panda. So what we're going to do now is slicing the data sets. And what do we have to do with this? This is just a comment. We have to go to cell type and markdown. and there are no numbers. Once again, just click on this and it will create below. Okay, here is very important thing which you are going to use in machine learning. What if I want a specific column? If your indexes are numerical like this, you can just say df.ilocation1. Let me explain this part in Python. Indexes starts with 0. So if you say 1, it is going to print the second row, not the first row. Let's see that. Click on run and here you go. It is going to print 4, 5, 6 because we gave 1. What if I say iloc 0? It is going to print the first one. 1, 2, 3. What if I just want to give my index name, not the index number? In that case, you will see df2.loc, and for example, I just want to print my p row. In that case, you will say loc, not iloc, not index loc. You will say loc, and you will give the name of the index. By the way, you can just click on Control Enter on your keypad and it will do the same thing you do with this run command. And over here, ABC 10, 11, 12, and that is this P row. This way you can directly get a specific row. So far so good. Now you know how to print a specific row. How about I want a subset of this data? For example, I want only this part, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, only this part. I want to create a subset of it. That is easy. Okay, let's go ahead and add a new cell. Now we're going to create a subset of df2. We are going to call it df3. The command is df2.iloc, and in this there are two arguments. The first argument contains the number of rows you want in this subset. It starts with 0 and then next 3 rows. Likewise, we want only 2 columns, so 0 and next 2 columns. Like here, we just want A and B. Remember, we want just this data set, 10, 11, 13, 14 and 16, 17. 3 rows and 2 columns. And now just print df3. Control Enter. And here you go. You have created a subset of df2 and you gave it the name df. The fun does not stop here. There are many such commands to explore. Before I finish the slicing and dicing of datasets, let me explain you one more aspect which you will use in machine learning. How about if I say df4 and df2.iloc, and then I say again 0 to 3, but over here I will say 0 and -1, and then let's say print df4. What will happen? Same thing. In this command I am saying not to include the last column. By saying -1, I am saying not to include this one. If I say -2, it will not include last 2 columns, B and C. Let's do that. Here, it just has first column. What if I just say -1 here? See, it only prints the last command. If I say last column, sorry. If I say -1, that means I'm not starting with 0 to -1. I'm just saying -1. Just put -1, and that means it will just take the last column. See, first 3 rows, 12, 15, 18, 12, 15, 18, but only last column. So these are some of the fun ways using which you can create a subset of the bigger data set, and this is what you are going to use in machine learning. We are not done yet. The most important and The critical part of Panda which you are going to use in machine learning is what I kept for the last, and that is reading the files. So let's put the markup here called reading the file, and let's say this is going to be markdown and enter. Using Panda, you can read any kind of files. You can read CSV file, you can read from a website, you can read HTML file, and it is very easy. You just say df and pd dot, you can say read CSV to read the CSV file, and I have CSV at this link, and this is where the CSV file is stored, and this is the only command you need to read that CSV, and just print it. Let's see, and here you go. This is that CSV file on that website, and just with one command the complete file is right here, and that file is in this data set, dfh data set. Now the whole CSV file is Panda data frame called dfh, and whatever your operations you performed here, you can perform on dfh. So dfh is your data to play around now, and you are going to do all this slicing, dicing, indexing, and all those things doing machine learning on this kind of data. So in nutshell, you are going to read a file with lot of data using Panda, and then after that you will do standardization, slicing and dicing, all those kind of analysis, or you can say all those kind of operations on that data using Panda, NumPy and other libraries. But the Panda is the most important library when it comes to reading the file and starting slicing and dicing that data. Very good. I will see you in next lecture. Bye bye. But don't go anywhere yet. We are not done it. The most important and most exciting part of Panda I kept for the last, and that is reading the file. When you are doing machine learning, you have to first read the data, and that is first thing you will do using Panda. So let's go ahead, and while reading the data, you read the data and transfer it into a data frame. You already know about data frame. So dfh is my data frame now, and the command to read the file is pd.read. I'm going to read CSV file, so it is going to be pd.read CSV. If you are reading Excel, it will be Excel. So like that, there are commands to read various files. You can read Excel, you can read CSV, you can read text file, you can read XML, you can read any kind of file. There are commands for that. My CSV is kept here. This is a open source kind of data available to you. You can always read it. So I'm going to read this CSV file, and that data is going to be stored in this data frame. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. And let's print this data set and run it. Right here, you got that data in the data frame dfh, and now whatever operations you performed here on the data frame, you can perform the same kind of operations on this data frame. This is the first step in any machine learning. You first have to read the data, and then you start slicing, dicing and analyzing the data. Okay, we are nearly done with this lecture. We have explored enough details in Panda, and our file is ready. It's time to save the file. So go here, file and save as, and then here you can give the name. right, and save. That's it, that becomes my file name. There are several good things and very useful thing about Jupyter, but I will tell you about them in due course. One very important thing which I want to tell you right now is you can download this whole file as a HTML, as a PDF, or anything else. For example, I can download this as HTML. Let's see. And if I open this, this is how the file looks. Now I can send this file to anybody and they will have the all the comments, code, result of that code, run, complete thing is right there. So this is your complete notebook. You can share with anybody. You can in fact put it on GitHub, and we will do that in due course. That is beauty of the Jupyter. So this is all about Panda and Jupyter, and I will see you in next lecture.